Hey guys, Jakob here and welcome to the new video. Today we will be trying something different. So you've seen probably a lot of those iceberg videos. I'm a big fan of those videos. Me and my co-founder Chris, we've been thinking, hey, why not to make one about running the agency? So this is what we'll be talking today. And when it comes to running agency, on the top of the iceberg, everything seems perfect. You're getting clients, you're getting paid, you're scaling, you're hiring employees. However, if you actually go deeper, there's more and more problems, unpaid invoices, HR issues, late payments, burnout, clients who are pushing every boundary. So there's just a lot of things and we'll be talking about it today. Stick around and let's begin. The first layer is startup delusion. And this is where every agency owner start. Watch a couple of YouTube videos, probably from gurus like Imangazzi about SMMA agency or AI automation agency. Could be even about software agency. I mean, doesn't really matter. This is where you start. You read some blog posts, some Reddit posts, and you feel like, hey, I want to start my own agency. You also know that you don't really need employees, especially in the beginning. All you need is the laptop. You can work from anywhere, few clients, and yeah, that's how you start making money. The plan is very simple. Get clients, make money, scale, retire early. That's it. And it all starts with just get clients, bro. You've heard it probably hundreds of times. Just send few emails, make LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts, reach out to your friends, to family, coworkers, and that's how you get your first clients. Easy, right? And honestly, at first, it actually may work. I even recommend in multiple videos that you should actually start this way. Then we go to the next point, which is be your own boss. And this is a dream, right? I mean, you want to quit your 9 to 5. Maybe you already did. Don't have anyone that you had to report to, make those boring presentations, reports, Excels. Pretty much you are your own boss. So you live in your life. You wake up when you want. You work from anywhere. You decide what you will be working today. This is all a dream, right? Then we go to the point number 3, work from a beach. And it's so funny, but maybe you've seen many of those reels, TikToks that you can be a digital nomad. You can work from the beach, from Bali. I think Bali is one of the most popular places for digital nomads. So your schedule looks like you wake up, you go to the gym, you answer a couple of emails, do a little bit of the work, get the lunch, do a little bit of the work, and then go to the beach, hang out with friends, meet new amazing people, other freelancers, other agency owners. And what makes it even better is point number 4, which is building cool projects. Because you quit and maybe in your 9 to 5, you were doing some very boring, repetitive work, which probably you've been asking yourself, hey, why am I doing it? What kind of value am I even bringing to the table? And now suddenly everything you do, it actually brings work. You're getting paid for the work that actually gives value. And this is one of the first time in your life. If you work in like corporate job, I've seen so many of those videos that people really are wondering what the heck are they even doing. So with your own business, especially a small business, everything you do has a direct impact and brings value. Maybe you work with other small businesses. This just brings the value right away. Maybe it's a website that you've built. Maybe it's a script that you coded that automates some stuff. Maybe it's the data pipeline that you've set up. Doesn't really matter. You're building cool projects. They are bringing value. You're getting paid for this. And since you don't have your 9 to 5 anymore, you have all time in the world to do so. And that's where we get to the next point. No more 9 to 5. And this is the moment. No more 9 to 5. No more hour reporting, getting weird corporate system where you have to log in, put yourself in, report the hours. It just feels like you're in control. No bullshit HR. You pretty much do your own hours, right? I know some people who are working crazy hours and I know other people who just plan for 4 hours a day and then have free time. There are various types of people here. And at this point, maybe you got already a few clients, some gigs. You're just thinking to yourself, hey, I just need to scale it. I just need to more outreach, get more clients, get more work done. And this will scale. You feel like you figure it out. And that's where we go to a deeper level of the iceberg, the layer that we call the scaling fantasy. And here things are looking very good for you because your revenue is climbing. You are getting better deals, better clients, and you feel like actual business owner. And here we go to the point, revenue is climbing. You're closing more deals, you're making more revenue, you are increasing your rates, you're pretty much overall experimenting with rates. Some of the clients you make bigger rates, some of other clients you do fixed price projects, you are experimenting. But in the end, every month the numbers are slowly getting up and up. And it feels like your agency is truly growing. And then suddenly there's this moment you land your first big client. So landing the first big client. And this is a huge moment for you. You finally landed the big client. You've negotiated very nice rates. great project takes months, not weeks or days. This isn't a small gig like, for example, Upwork gigs or gigs for friends or family or ex-coworkers, ex-bosses. This is a real thing. Could be a medium-sized business, could be a corporate gig. Basically, this is it. And at this point, since things are going well, you started to think, hey, I need to hire my first employee. So hiring your first team member. At this point, you're no longer solo. You hired your first employee, could be a VA, developer, designer, someone that can help you scale. Maybe you're coding on your own and this person just helps you build projects faster, so you have more time to actually scale the business, get more clients, do marketing, contracts, stuff like this, right? But my point is that you hired someone and you're scaling your agency. And then there's this moment, maybe solo, maybe with your first employee, that you hit the dream, 10K per month. No job, no salary. This is what you've generated with your business. This is a dream of every person that starts its own business. There's so many YouTube videos, how I did my first 10K per month. This is a huge moment for you. It's actually getting stable. You did the first 10K, you did another 10K, and you're thinking, hey, I will get 20K per month. I will get 50K. Maybe I'll get to the 100K. You are super motivated. To be fair, you actually made it. It's quite flex. Not that many people get to this point. And people start noticing you. Your name is getting out there. This is where you get first emails, LinkedIn requests with some great opportunity, with some cheap developers that can help you outsource the work. Maybe some CEOs are actually reaching out to you. And to be fair, most of it is spam, it's bullshit. But there could be some opportunities. I mean, if you're putting your name out there, maybe you're working with some niche, there could be some great opportunities where we were, especially when we jumped to the niche like Amazon. We've started getting some nice collaboration with Amazon agencies, and we are responsible for coding the projects. They were responsible for handling Amazon businesses. So could be similar for you. And you feel like you really built a proper agency at this point. However, not everything is that great and something feels off. And that's where we go to next layer, a stress zone. So until now, everything were super nice. You've grinded, you hustled, you did crazy hours, you made nice revenue, made nice profit. However, the bigger the business is, the more clients, more employees you have, the more problems start to flow in. Now you feel like running your agency isn't just about getting new clients and delivering those projects. That's where we go to the point, more clients, more problems. So remember how hard was it to land a client in level 1 of this iceberg? Well, it turned out that this is the easy part. Because at this point, you know that every new client, there's a set of new problems. One client wants to use WhatsApp for communication. One client wants crazy amount of work for free. Other client misread the contract. Other clients calls you 5 times a day and wants updates. There's also a client that doesn't pay your invoices on time. And suddenly, instead of focusing just on the growth and delivering projects, you see there's a lot of problems that you have to handle. That's where we go to the next point. No more free time. At this point, there's no such thing like work-life balance. You're constantly checking your Slack, your emails. Even though you finish your work, your mind is still there. You're thinking 24/7 about the next step, about the clients, about the problems. There's always another email to reply. There's always something to do. If you're using task management software like Jira, ClickUp, Notion, or others, there's always something to do. You realize that you hit the point that the work is pretty much endless. You can work non-stop, but obviously you have to take care about yourself, about your body. You cannot work constantly non-stop. Your free time is pretty much gone. Clients, red flags. Remember when getting the clients was super excited? Well, at this point, as I mentioned before, with every new client, there's a set of new problems. I feel like we can name red flags. You know that some of the clients give you more trouble than they are worth it. They want endless revisions. They are manipulating you. They want discounts. And this is really where the stress begins. Rising stress levels. And you're really starting to feel it. The pressure, the deadlines, the constant expectations from your clients. Even if you're not working, you're thinking about the work. That's where your stress really stacks. However, your agency is growing, but so is the weight on your shoulders. However, you're actually pushing forward because this is what scaling is about, right? And that's where we go to the next point, which is scaling is expensive. And here is very interesting because at this point, more clients were equal to more revenue. That meant more profit, right? That's not the case here. You need to hire more employees or contractors. The bigger scale means more costs, less profit. You need to manage those employees. Same with the tools. You're no longer solopreneur. You also need those business licenses for various SaaS platforms. You need to pay your taxes and they're probably much higher than you expect in the beginning. Corporate tax tax, personal income tax, they're just crazy. Of course, it really depends on the country. I'm just saying overall that you need to keep it under consideration always and think about it. And of course, random unexpected expenses, which are constantly draining your cash flow. And yeah, maybe you're making more money than before, but your costs are much higher. So maybe you did twice more revenue, but it doesn't mean you did twice more profit. And that's where we go into the next level in our iceberg, level 4, the reality check. Your agency is growing, you got leads, you got clients, you got employees, projects being delivered. But now the cracks start showing. Your schedule's pretty much packed. Your stress levels are only climbing. And you actually realize that scaling is just not about hiring more people and getting more projects. It's about keeping the chaos and controlling it. And here we go to the feast or famine. And this is something very interesting because this is pretty much the situation where, okay, you had work in previous months, you were constantly delivering the projects, you finish actually them. And now you have no leads in your CRM systems, no projects plans, and you're back. I don't want to say to level 0, no. You actually need to double down on the things that you haven't thought about, right? On sales and marketing. Let's say you are very busy with building one project for a huge client with some of your team members. You've made quite a nice revenue and profit. However, now you don't really have that much work. You have a full-time employee on your payroll, but you don't really have a work for him or her. And this is the situation which is very bad because you need to burn your cash that you saved just to keep this employee, or you need to think about the new task that he or she can do. And you have to go back things that you haven't done for a while now. And you start hustling even harder at this point. And that's where we go to the next stage. Burnout kicks in. So your excitement is fading. The constant work is draining you. The stress levels too big to handle. And you're pushing through because there's no really choice. You started at the first place. You don't want to fail it. You don't want to close your agency. If you stop, everything will collapse. That's where we go to the next point, which is work-life balance. At this point, work-life balance doesn't really exist. Your clients expect 24/7 availability, especially if you work in worldwide with various clients that are pretty much all around the world, all around the planet. You may work from Poland, have clients in Asia, or have clients in States. Then pretty much at this point, you need to be available 24/7. The clients wait for messages to be replied. Employees wait for tasks and approvals. And there's always something to fix. But at least you're making money, right? And that's when it actually hits you. Late payments are the norm. And this is something that I was super not prepared for, especially in my experience. You did actually a great job. Clients accepted your work, you send the invoice, but suddenly you're not getting paid. The invoice is overdue. You are writing to the client, you're calling him, he's not replying. Then suddenly you actually made it and you managed to contact the client, but he said, hey, I have no money right now. He's also from other country, so you can't really do anything about it, because if you sue this company, the cost for law company would be higher than the actual invoice. The only thing you can do is actually frequently reaching out to the client, and that's the new reality. Some of the invoices, they are overdue. Some of the invoices, they will never be paid off. You hear messages like, hey, I thought I paid it. Hey, can we push the payment for the next quarter? Hey, my other clients owes me money and I'll send it to you later. Like, those are very popular replies from the clients that we had where we are waiting for the invoices to be paid. And since you are waiting for the payments now, what you do? Well, you push even harder. You start pushing out more proposals, more sales calls. You're literally filling every gap in your schedule just to keep running your agency. And that's when you enter fake productivity mode. And this is something that I can't even stress enough how many times I did that, and I feel like I'm still doing it. So at this point, you're working even harder. But the question is, are you getting anything actually done? So what I mean by that, you're creating tasks for yourself, something like, let's create a new blog post, let's tweak the website, let's jump on another meeting, let's call up with the other company. And actually your day looks like it's very busy and it's very important, but in the end, it isn't. You are organizing your Notion space like 10 times. You're writing the content that no one is reading, and your calendar is actually packed with endless meetings. But the question here is, are you making more money? And the real answer is no. You're just running into the circles. You're feeling very productive, but in the end, you're not really bringing anything to the table. And I've been there multiple times, and this is just terrible. And the worst thing about this is that the cycle never ends, and you are not really making any progress with your company. And that's where we go to the next layer, the scaling trap. And this is where your growth stops feeling like a success and really start feeling like a trap. Here, the first point is that your employees will leave. And this is a very hard moment in your company. I mean, you had someone for a long time. He or she learned the processes, delivered great projects, learned the technology, the framework. You've learned how to work with them. However, they just quit and everything is burning because suddenly you need to replace them and you need to start doing HR. You need to start hiring people. You need to start doing interviews. You only spend more money for this. It's very time-consuming process. You may actually to pay more for this person and it's just super hard. But this is natural moment in every company that there will be new employees coming, there will be people leaving. That's a natural process of every company. And after it happens a few times, you start to develop the trust issue. So trust issue develop. This is a very hard moment in your company. Some of the clients, they never paid. Freelancers disappeared. Employees left. Maybe one of your ex-employees copied your business model and started his own agency. This hurts you. You cannot really trust anyone. And you're back doing everything yourself. And you get to the point that, okay, you're doing everything on your own. I mean, you have some employees, but I'm just saying that overall, like you're in the position where it's very hard for you to trust others. And yeah, the next thing is that you're in this point and your clients always want more. That's where we go to the next point. Clients expect the impossible. And here I just want to say that not everyone is like this, but no matter about the industry, I'm speaking about my experience in the software development world. There are clients that I don't even know if they know shit about coding and building projects. Probably not. They just want everything fast. They just want everything working and they want it for tomorrow, right? No matter if they ask you to build the next Facebook, they want full production level for thousands of users in 1 month. There are clients like this basically. And you're in the point that, hey, what if I say no? You're too scared, right? Because if you say no, you may lose the client. You might lose this monthly recurring revenue, but you want your agency keep growing, keep the momentum. So basically you're in the position when you're constantly managing those expectations, constantly negotiating boundaries. And you just start wondering, hey, what if I just increase my prices for all of those bad clients? And you actually do it. So we are on the next point, high revenue, low profits. This is the point where your agency is making real money. Maybe you are already in the point doing 50K per month, maybe 100K per month. You have a lot of big clients, so you're delivering very big projects. You have multiple full-time employees delivering those. Maybe you have some projects managers. What I'm saying is that your revenue is all-time high. But then you actually are checking your profits and something is not adding up. No one really told you that when it comes to scaling, there's more and more problems, more expectations. And you realize that if you 1 year back, your team was twice smaller, you were actually doing more profit than you are right now. And you had less stress. And that's just super bad. Then we go to the next point. People don't respect expertise. And we had it multiple times. We are offering a solution to clients and then suddenly he wants to build a SaaS, software as a service. We scope it for, let's say, 50K. But he says, hey, I watched a YouTube video and it shouldn't take that much. Hey, my cousin told me that this isn't that hard and you guys commerce. Or like, hey, this Upwork freelancer can do it much cheaper. Pretty much you're in the position that you've built it all. You develop the expertise, but you just realize that people don't really care. They always want things cheaper and faster. They don't really value that. You are not also in the position that you can say no to some of the clients. So you just need to write crazy emails, negotiate with them, explain them why does it take that much. And again, this just takes extra time and it's super frustrating. Because of this, instead of feeling that you've built something amazing and incredible, you feel like it's breaking down. All right, that's where we go to the next layer of the iceberg, the breaking point. Well, this is the point where a lot of agency owners quits. They give up. No wonder. Overall, it's quite hard. You may be doing 50K per month, 100K per month, but you just burn out. You're exhausted. At one point, yes, you're grinding. You have clients, employees. But on the other hand, there's just so many problems that stacks up. There are invoices that are overdue. They're not paid. Probably will never be paid. Your internal processes sucks. Again, communication with your clients is pretty much 24/7. Some of the employees, they left. You may have cash flow issues. Overall, the situation is not looking good, okay? And here in this layer, the first point will be to talk about bad clients that are worse than no clients. Well, this is very interesting because initially you thought that every client is great, but after months or years of experience, you realize that there are clients that just are not worth it. It's better to never start this collaboration with this particular client because they're just taking too much time. You're not making profit. At the same time, you are so deep with the collaboration that you just can't quit because you will lose your reputation in a community, for example. They will spread the word about your services. Like there will be something that just not the best for you or for both for you. It's taking all of the time, all of the profit, time of your developers. The worst thing is that they are blocking you from growing your company, from finding new clients, because you're just so busy with dealing with them overall. The next thing will be that sales never ends. I just want to say that no matter in which position you are in the agency, sales never ends. You need to sell constantly. I learned so many times that the best seller is always the founders. Founders always sell the best. No one likes to speak with salespeople, like especially if you hire someone. A lot of agencies are built on personal brands, and those personal brands are the ones selling. And most likely, if you are the agency owner, you will have to sell by yourself, and it will take you a lot of time to hire a sales representative. I can tell you, for example, that we've run Deltologic for almost 5 years, and we are still in the place where me and my co-founder are selling our services. And we've tried a few times with business representative, it just never worked. Or maybe we are just bad and we don't know how to teach them to do so. Could be also this. But yeah, after a while, it's really exhausting because you really want to focus on the next big thing, but you still need to sell those services. No matter how hard you try, no one really cares about your hard work. In the end, your clients, they don't care. They just want the results. They want things fast. They want things cheap. They want things working. Of course, the clients that can understand you, but I'm just saying that most of them, they don't really care. Business is a very hard world. And on the other hand, you have all of the competitors that they are also grinding. They are offering cheaper solutions, faster solutions. Your clients are doing research, also thinking about changing the provider. No one really cares that you're putting all of those hours. And this is the brutal reality. If you think this is the bad thing, we go to the next one, which is no one told you about the taxes. I mean, I'm not saying that no one told you about the taxes, of course, because most likely at this level, you are having your accountant, you're doing your taxes. But what I'm saying here is that no one told you about tax optimization. I mean, also depends on the country, but maybe you heard about the stories that corporates paid very low taxes. And for example, you keep high profit, but you just left it on your bank account because you were so busy delivering stuff. And then suddenly you have to pay huge tax on that. I'm talking about those situations. Unfortunately, in this business world, taxes are crazy. And the worst part is if you don't spend your money wisely, you don't optimize on that, you'll just have to give it back to government. So you worked hard, you delivered crazy job, you made profit, but you just didn't spend it on time, and then you have to just pay crazy amount of taxes. And that's just the reality where we lived in. And we go to a next layer of our iceberg, the abyss. And this is where the real problem starts to get into you. Not just the business one, but the personal one. The first one is just that your health starts suffering. Initially, you told yourself that, hey, I'll just do a lot of hours, grind a lot initially, but then I will stabilize, I'll get my work-life balance back. Unfortunately, you didn't. You're sleeping less. You are constantly stressed. Maybe you gained weight because of the fast foods that you were ordering. You didn't have time to cook and eat clean, so you were just ordering stuff. You neglected your sports habits, like going to the gym because you had those emails to answer. You just drink coffee all day to keep going, and eventually it catches up to you. There's this Monday that you just wake up and you say, shit, I can't. And you're just lying in your bed. Trust me, I've been there. And what makes it even worse is competition gets ruthless. There's the saying, competitors never sleep, and it's true. At this point, you have clients, you deliver great work, you work hard, but like your competitors, they undercut your prices, they steal your clients, they create fake case studies, they don't play clean. The worst part is that people overall, businesses overall, like, they don't care. They just want things fast and cheap, and you are stuck. And the next part is that the industry is full of scammers. At this point of the iceberg, you realize what this industry is all about, how the competitors are not playing fair, how they are stealing clients, making fake case studies, lying about the team, about the solutions. They pretend to have huge teams, great solutions, but they outsource everything. The case studies are completely made up. And the worst part, in my opinion, is that they promise crazy results. That's how they sell, but then they never deliver. And we had it so many times. This pisses me off. For example, there's a project that has crazy requirements and it's not possible, like technically not possible to be delivered, for example, in a period of 3 months. But for some reason, your competitors, they tell that they will do that. That's how they got the project, but in the end, they are not delivering it. But they just got the client. Probably they lie to this client. They do some shady stuff stuff, shady tactics, they have shady contracts. And this is unfortunately the reality. Not every company wants to play fair, build a reputation. There are companies that work on the very hard contracts, and where things got nasty, their clients, they are kind of dependent on them, and those companies, they just drain their money, and that's just the reality. The problem is that in this game, it's not that wins the best, but who sells the hardest. You realize that you are the problem. You may realize that what if the problem isn't really them, but the problem is you, because you were the one taking on those deals. You were the one selling the projects. You are the one that hired so many people without creating proper systems, without creating proper SOPs. I mean, you are the one running the whole business. So you might be the actual problem. And the worst part is that you are trapped. You wanted to be free. You wanted to have your freedom, work anywhere in the world, be your own boss. But instead of this, you actually build your own prison. That's where I go to the next level, the last one, the deepest one, the agency purgatory. This is the final level, the deepest, the worst part of the iceberg. Your agency is crashing. It's actually worse where your agency is running, you're still making money, and from the outside, everything looks good. But inside, that's where we have the problems. So the first point here is that success doesn't feel like success. And I can tell you one thing. You did it. You built something from nothing. It generates money. Maybe actually you have decent salary, much higher than having in your 9 to 5. You have a team, you have a name and a space, and maybe even some status. But instead of feeling that you won, you're tired. All of the stress, well, it didn't go away. The pressure is still there. And this thing that you've dreamed about is actually completely different than you could realize initially. You also don't have more free time. You spend years thinking, once I hit this X number with the revenue, I feel successful. Unfortunately, you don't really feel like that. So when you will finally get there, well, nothing changes and you start seeing the cracks. And that's the next point. So one bad client can ruin you. And we've been always thinking that there couldn't be clients like this until they appeared. There's this client that for some reason, because of the contract you did, you have this maintenance that you have to do. You have to deliver things that you couldn't deliver. Your employee left you with a lot of problems. You had to spend tons of money to fix it. And if you don't, it can damage your reputation, can leave the bad reviews and probably destroy your agency, everything that you worked on over the last years. You start questioning yourself, do I even want to deal with this anymore? You might lose everything. And this is a very interesting part. You literally might lose everything in one bad quarter. And it depends on multiple factors, of course, but like, let's say about technology, it's constantly changing. You may start, for example, marketing agency or design agency, and there is this AI that suddenly automates and substitutes your services and your clients no longer needs you. So you can literally lose everything like that. And it's not really different than 9 to 5, right? If you have agency, you're doing services. If you work in 9 to 5, you're probably also doing some kind of work, might be some services, right? I'm just saying that there could be a technology that had such an impact that completely destroy your whole business that you've been working over the last years. Another thing is that scaling make it easier to fail. This is very interesting to say, because if you hire too many full-time employees and you have a situation where you don't have clients anymore, you have all of those costs. The runtime for your agency, for example, could be 2 months, right? If you keep your, we call it cash pillow in your bank account. So the more employees you have, the easier it is to actually fail and fail very strong. That's why you really need to take care of all of those deals, having them ahead planned. Otherwise, you'll just lose everything. And it can happen faster than you think. The last part is that you might hate what you've built. You've spent years on grinding, scaling. You've built something from nothing, and now you just don't want to do it anymore. It feels like a prison that you've built. You hate doing sales, you hate doing marketing. This is where you just don't want to do it anymore. You've done it for so many years successfully. It's just that you personally, as a founder, you hate it and you want to close it down. So that would be various layers of running the agency, of course, in the worst case scenarios. And we have a solution for this, right? So I didn't want to give you the solutions for each of those points. We've actually running our agency for almost 5 years, and we've been to almost every of those points. However, at some point, we overcame those problems. And that's where we thought, hey, if we had it, probably other agency owners have those problems as well, and they struggle and they need some help. That's why we actually created a community called Agency Dudes. There's a link in bio. Feel free to join if you are a freelancer or if you're scaling custom software agency, AI automation agency, no code, low code, design agency, service business. If you're running one, if you're dealing with the problems, if you're looking for a supporting community, just join. It's free. Let me know, guys, what you think about this kind of video. I had a lot of fun. I know that this iceberg video sounds really depressing. I don't want to discourage you to start your own business, because running business is very fun, very challenging, but at the same time, there are a lot of problems that you will encounter. I just showed you what could be those layers and those problems that at some point they will come to you. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one.